From cities to mountains to Arctic tundras, there's a train for everyone across the world. Somehow years ago, I ended up on the train side of the internet, watching different YouTube videos, any train-based movie I could think of, that dude on TikTok who has the weird camera and gets obsessed and excited about trains and nearly creams himself every time he sees one. I got a love for trains. I don't know what it is, but I love trains. From all the beautiful scenery through to the awkward showers and the cramped compartments, the mediocre looking food, all the way through to the luxury stuff where people are getting a full 5-star experience as they kind of prattle through the European countryside. I don't know what it is, but I love it. Come join us on the train side of the internet.
We're back, and today we are going to do a video of our dream train journeys. You guys probably don't know this about us, but we absolutely love a train. So today we're going to do our top 5 train journeys that we really want to do, 4 of which are sleeper trains and 1 is an honorary mention. These are all really cool trains that at least sort of 8 hours, cool viewing cars, stuff like that.
Yeah, we train people. You don't know this, but we train people, right? When we first got together, I showed Amy a video of the California Zephyr. I was like, I want to do this train journey. And ever since then,
I also want to do train journeys.
We want to do train journeys. 5 crazy train journeys. These are all insane. They've got crazy views. They're not the most expensive in the world. They're not luxury.
Some of them
are pricey. And some of them are not the most adventurous trains in the world. However, they've all got crazy views, good accommodation, or they've got something unique about them that we want to do. 4 of which are sleepers, 1's an honorary mention, like Amy said. But yeah, we're excited. We want to do these. These are the ones that we want to do. So hopefully on the channel at some point soon, I say soon.
I reckon we'll be able to do a couple of them in the next year.
At least 2 of them, for sure.
I think
and then
a couple of them in the next year.
But yeah, hopefully these are the ones that we're going to do. So these are the ones that we want to do. If you've done them before, let us know. If you like the look of them, also let us know. We're excited. Let's go. So first on the list, this is the California Zephyr. I just mentioned it then. It's been my dream trip for a long while. I saw a blog about it years ago and I got obsessed with it. And it was something I really wanted to do. It runs from Chicago to San Francisco, or San Francisco to Chicago, whichever way round you want to take. Most people seem to do Chicago to San Francisco. We kind of want to do San Francisco to Chicago. I think that's because we're based in the UK and the flight back from Chicago will be a lot shorter, 8 hours rather than 13 hours flying back from San Francisco. If you've ever flown from California to the UK, you know that's a long flight. It's not pleasant at all. So the route of this one, it kind of goes, like I mentioned before, Chicago, San Francisco. It cuts through loads of places like Nebraska, Denver, through the Rockies, Salt Lake City, Reno, Sacramento. It goes through all these different things. You can get on and off the journey, actually, during this trip as well. You have to split your journey up a little bit, but you can get off, spend a couple of days in one place, get back on another service later. You have to pre-book it, but this is something that we want to do. We really want to stop in Denver. I've never been to Denver, Colorado. It looks great. Explore some mountains, get some altitude sickness. Sounds like fun. I'm into it.
So this isn't a luxury sleeper train or anything like this. It is just Amtrak train. But it is, however, considered one of the most scenic routes across America. It's about 52 hours. I think there's 3 nights on board, but don't quote me on that. Either way, it's a long time. But it goes through some absolutely incredible scenic views. You've got mountains, cities, anything you want. Everyone knows train travel in America can be quite expensive, so this isn't a cheap journey. They have a few different options. So you've got ones that start around $1,100, and that is the smallest rooms, and then up to roomettes and double rooms and suites, which are about $3,000. Some of them include showers and bathrooms, are the ones that's communal. But it's definitely a doable trip. It's one you have to save for, but the price is based off 2 people sharing as well, so you pay per room rather than per person. So it's on the upper side, but it's not undoable. And I think this is one that we're going to do, hopefully, in the next few years.
One thing you can do on this train is you can just book a random seat if you want. But like Amy said, it's 3 days, 52 hours, and 30 plus stops. You don't want to be sat in a train seat for that long. I don't. I definitely don't. As a 6'2" man, I do not want to be sat in a train seat for that long. That's a lot. As Amy mentioned, this isn't a luxury train. It's got nothing special on it in terms of a kind of like fanciness. There's nothing fancy on this train, but it does have dining options. It's got like dining cars. It's got snack bars. It's got all these different things that you might want. It's got these viewing cars, and this is one of the cool things that I thought was incredible when I first saw this train. Was it's got these cars that are kind of like the side of it goes up and then over like this. It's like a half dome, and then the seats face outwards. So when you're going through like all these different mountain ranges and stuff like that, you can kind of sit back, relax, and look out the window at all these different beautiful vistas as you go through in these crazy looking viewing cars, and it's pretty exciting.
So hopefully this is one that we're going to get to do in the next few years. It's definitely on the books. We've been semi-planning it. We've got no dates or anything yet, but we've done the most research into this trip than any of the other ones. So absolutely keep your eye out for that video, because it will be coming. It might take a while, but it's coming. All the footage and clips that you've seen on screen is from the YouTuber Denali Live. We absolutely love his channel. We watch so many of his things, and he is also a big train guy.
So the next one is the Venice Simplon Orient Express. You'll know the name of the Orient Express. I would say it's probably the most famous train in the world. It is a luxury train, right? We're not luxury people, okay? But if you've ever seen video of this, and the video that you'll see up here is coming from YouTubers Cara and Nate, big YouTube travel channel, probably one of the most famous YouTube travel channels there is. It operates various routes, so you can go like Paris to Istanbul, you can go Paris to Venice. Paris to Venice is the route that we love to take, and the one that a lot of people do. It used to start in London, but not anymore because Brexit, and ruining everything for us, because that's what the Tories like to do.
Even though, as Martin said, we're not luxury people, the reason we like the look of this one so much, even though it is technically luxury, is it's really cool. It's really old. All the carriages are like lovingly restored. They're all like the original 20s, 30s carriages. It's just a really cool historic train. It's an experience that is just incredible to be a part of. Even though it's ridiculous amounts of money, so you get fed, you get champagne on taps, they do sweets. It's fancy.
Yeah, I mean, the train is fancy, but it's not luxury that seems contrived or manufactured. Luxury itself comes from the fact that these are genuine carriages from back in the 20s and 30s that have been restored and like put back on the tracks as such, to kind of like be reinvigorated to capture the essence of what was luxury travel back then. And I think that's one of the things that draws us to it, not the fanciness. We're not champagne people, we're not fancy people, we don't like to be waited on, but it does look really cool. But it is bloody pricey.
When we say it's pricey, it is pricey. The basic rooms start at about $4,000, and the massive cool suites go up to like $12,000. And this is per person, not per room. So you're looking at least $10,000 for a trip. I think the food's all included, but the one where you get bottomless champagne and things like that is only in the grand suites that you're paying like $12,000 a person for. So if I was to do it, I'd do $12,000 suite, obviously, go for it. And I'd just drink the price in champagne to make up for it. Why not?
So this is actually always going to be a lotto win gifted press trip. Hence, Orient Express, gift us a press trip. Or, I don't know who controls the lottery these days. Someone controls the lottery, I'm sure. They can make us win, I'm sure they can. But this is an absolute dream trip. This is one of those like we're never going to get to take. We just like watching videos of it and living vicariously through other people. Hence the videos of Cara and Nate enjoying it. But yeah, it's definitely a bucket list. It's super bucket list, but not even remotely realistic. We are far too poor.
So if we want to talk about more realistic trains, you've got the Caledonian Sleeper. So this one goes from London to various Scottish cities. I think we'd probably end up taking it to Edinburgh, but I think you can do Glasgow, Aberdeen, Inverness, loads. This is a lot cheaper. I think it starts around £300 per room. So again, that's per couple if you're doing two. It can obviously sound a little bit more expensive if you're doing it by yourself, but for two, I don't think it's too bad.
No, I think it's fairly reasonable. Like, this was designed, so the Caledonian Sleeper itself was designed as an overnight train. So it wasn't A to B luxury experience. It wasn't it wasn't designed as anything but an overnight train. This was your best way to get from London to Edinburgh, take that long journey, but do it overnight.
You get fed breakfast, but not dinner, but they do have like a dining cart. I can't remember whose video it was that was a bit upset that it was a little bit expensive to eat, but...
Someone was like moaning about the price of it.
It wasn't awful.
But when we looked at it, it was like, £10 a meal. I think they moaned because they ordered a meal, a whiskey, and something else. And that's 25 quid. And I was like, yeah, like 15 of that will be your whiskey, right? Because we were looking at the prices on the menu going, oh, like £9 to £10 for a meal. That's fairly cheap these days. Jesus.
And it's apparently best of the Scottish Highlands food.
Yeah, haggis and all that jazz. And, I don't actually know much about Scottish food.
No, I don't.
If they serve Iron Brew and Buckfast, we're happy.
It's like 3 different. You can do a seat, but again, you may as well just get a normal 4-hour train if you're doing it that way. There's a seat, and then there's like 3 levels of room. I think one's like a family room, one's just like a normal bunk bed type room, and then one's a club double bed, which is, from what I've seen, like a really normal bed, but like the top ones include breakfast, I think. And
yeah, they don't include doesn't include your evening meals, but does include breakfast. I think that was it. But this one, like, it's not like, of all the others, they're gonna have like picturesque scenery, like the Orient Express. You wake up in the Swiss Alps and all this jazz, and this one you're just gonna see a lot of London, like the back alleys of London, and then the darkness for about 7 or 8 hours, and then when you finally get to Scotland, you're gonna see some beautiful sights and some beautiful scenery, spot some Highland cows and all that jazz. But this is more of a, we want to do it because it's realistic for us, and apparently the train is quite nice itself. And
I reckon this is going to be the first one we do. I think there's a really good chance we'll be able to do this one this year. Like, it's not ridiculously expensive, and I think it's a really good start to see, like, oh, do we actually think we'll be able to sleep on a train before we decide to do,
I think this will be
3 days across states.
I think this will be our test your sleep on a train thing. But yeah, you can do everything on this train that you want to do on every other sleeper train. So you can sleep, you can eat, you can drink, you can shower. I want to eat some haggis and drink some scotch in a shower just to fuel my depression. I think that will be my lowest moment, and I look forward to it. I do look forward to it, yeah. Oh, and the shots of the Caledonian Sleeper that you're seeing up here, they're all from YouTuber Jeb Brooks. Really nice dude. Well, I can't speak personally, I don't know the guy, but he seems like a really nice dude. And he does loads of travel videos, and he does quite a lot in Britain. So yeah, check his stuff out as well. And yeah, these are all his footage.
Number 4 is the Rocky Mountaineer. So the Rocky Mountaineer is not like a set route, it's just a set of trains that go through Canada. I think most of them start from Vancouver, and then again they go through various places, but this is another one of those big scenic routes. They're not super long, I think they're only a couple of days, but we've never been to Canada. We really want to go to Canada, and I think you're going to see some absolutely incredible things through there, like mad.
So yeah, lots of stunning landscapes. It goes through like the Rockies, it goes through Pacific Northwest. It's all that kind of like left bit of Canada, which all looks really, really picturesque and cool. It offers multiple routes. First passage to the west is, I think, the one that we would look at taking, which goes from Vancouver to Banff. And it's say 2 nights, did you say it was? Something like that. This is like a semi-luxury train, right? So this isn't the Orient Express and, that kind of level of luxury. And it's not kind of a service train like an Amtrak would be. It is an experience, and you do book an experience to go on this. And like most of the booking options are for an experience that include your hotels and things like that. But what makes it kind of like semi-luxury is like levels of service. The service of people telling you about the area. So whereas like it might not be silver service, it is people giving you education about the history of the area that you're going through and pointing out different things as you go, which is really cool. It's also got these dome cars, so they're bi-level. The bottom is just like normal, and on the top you go up and it's got like a 360 dome above it, and they look really cool. They look really like old school and mid-century modern, and that is a vibe.
Martyn absolutely loves some mid-century modern. This is another one of the more pricier trips. So as you said, this is like an experience. I don't think you can just book the train. We might be able to, but we've really struggled to like sort of work it out. So there's a few different classes of service. So there's like silver leaf and gold leaf, and they just entail various different things. It starts around $2,000 per person, and then goes up to about $4,500 per person, depending on the route and then the level of service that you're going for. I think the thing that attracts us to this is a bit like California Zephyr, and it's just the scenery. The absolute scenes. Yeah, I think this is really cool because we get to see a lot of Canada in a really short amount of time. Canada's just really far away. There's not a very big chance that we'll be going there a lot, so why don't we see as much as we can in the short amount of time as we can. The clips that we've used in this bit is Trek Trendy. He does loads of different travel videos, quite a lot on trains, so his footage is the ones that you've seen here.
Next up is the Denali Star, which is Alaska's railroad service. It doesn't have any set routes similar to the Rocky Mountaineer, but we want to do Anchorage to Fairbanks. That is our kind of like chosen route that we want to do. It's 12 hours, so it's not a sleeper as such. You just have a long time on the train. But again, very mid-century modern design, very classic train service, not particularly luxury, but probably cheaper than the Rocky Mountaineer, but still more expensive than, say, an Amtrak service. But this is kind of one of those picturesque non-sleeper ones that we really want to do. Similar to going to Canada, it's a long way away. Alaska's huge and a long way away from us, from England. So this was going to be if we're going to do Alaska, let's do Alaska and let's see a lot of stuff.
Scenes on this look absolutely incredible. It's got huge, again, like other trains, the big domed viewing cars, so you can see sort of 180. It also has like outside viewing platforms, which is really cool. So you can sort of stand outside and watch the Alaskan wilderness go by. Hopefully see some Alaskan animals. I know there are polar bears in Alaska. I assume it's got polar bears in Alaska. Love to see a polar bear. There's two classes on this one again. It's very similar to the Rocky Mountaineer, so you've got silver and gold. The only difference that I can see is that you get fed on the gold class, but not on the silver class. It's like a 12-hour trip, and there is obviously food options, but it's included on the gold. But it's like $250 more for the gold class, and I don't really think it's worth it. They have slightly different viewing cars and stuff, but they don't look that different. And the viewing car in the silver one has a better dome, so I don't know. Do what you will, but $207 or $509, like, I see. Food's not worth it.
So one of the unique things about this service is it has what's called a flag stop service on it. So anyone can kind of like flag the train down, like pre-book it to flag down at different points.
Oh, yeah.
So you can stop it anywhere you like. So all these little kind of villages and towns and stuff that are along the route, you can ask to stop at any one of those, jump off, then jump back on the next day if you want to. It's a really kind of like unique and interesting way to visit some of the least visited places in Alaska.
I really want to do this trip in the winter. Maybe not like the dead of Alaskan winter, but like Alaska's cool and snowy, and I want to experience big, cool.
I mean, if we're going to go to Alaska, we're going when it's snowy, surely, right?
Yeah.
It's like you won't go to Hawaii in the winter because you want it to be warm. I mean, does Hawaii have winter?
I don't know.
I don't know. We should research that. I don't know. It seems like they never
We're
have
not
winter.
warm people.
It seems like it's one of those countries that seems like it never has winter.
I think it does. It's also not a country, but
it's a state, I suppose, isn't it? So yeah, this is again, it's not a crazy luxury service. It's very similar to the Rocky Mountaineer in terms of your experience and how you go on it. But it looks really cool and the scenes look ridiculous.
Yeah.
At this point, I think you've gathered that everything has a dining car, everything has sleeper cars. There's various different options, and it has the silver and gold options. It's got food. It's got all these different things. You can have a shower on there, all that jazz.
got a shower on the Alaskan one.
There's not a shower on the last one.
No, because it's only a day one.
Oh.
Yeah.
What if I just splash a cup of water over myself?
Go for it.
Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you to Trek Trendy again for the footage up here, which is somewhere there. You'll see. He does, again, like Amy said before, he does a lot of trains, and if you want train information, it's all there. So, those are our 5 ridiculous, insane train journeys that we want to take, and hopefully we've inspired you as much as they've inspired us to take some crazy journeys. Over Christmas, actually, I was talking to my parents, and they go on cruises a lot, and it's a fairly old people boring thing to do. I think I'm not a cruise person, and I keep trying to convince them to take these train journeys instead. Like, go do a train instead. Go do a train. This is what we want to do, but I guess we're train people and they're not. So maybe, hopefully, soon you'll get to see us take some of these journeys. Some of them are too expensive and we'll never take them, probably. Realistically, we'll never take them. But it's what we want to do, and hopefully we've inspired you to maybe do the same thing too. If anything looks really cool to you, drop us a comment down below. And remember, like, subscribe, etc.